Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for the latest GoSkills Challenge solution. How did you do? Well, we're about to find out. Our Excel expert Claudia Buckley has her solution to share. Give it a look and see if yours matches up.
Hey everyone! So our challenge this month was to come up with the top 5 from this list of 35 agents. And we're using their quality score to determine where they fall on this list. The problem is that we have agents with duplicate quality scores. And so what do we use as the tiebreaker? What are some suggestions, some methods that we can use as tiebreakers in Excel? There are several methods for doing this. We'll explore a few in this video and share the pros and cons of each one. All right, so let's jump right in with the first method. I want to start with the lowest hanging fruit. So that's using sorting. If we want to sort by quality score, we can just jump into any cell in column C, and you can either go to the Data tab and use one of the sort commands, or you can right-click and sort. So you can sort from largest to smallest, so use the Z to A icon, and you have the quality scores here. The problem, of course, is that we have some duplicates. So we have 2 people with 100% and 3 with 97%, which right away puts us outside of our top 5, because right here we have 6 agents. How do we determine who the top 5 are? Well, depending on what you're trying to achieve, or depending on your policy, then you will have to decide what it is that will be used as your tiebreaker. So you have to know in advance what you want to use as the tiebreaker, and then that will help you to determine what method in Excel you'll be using to get that tie broken. So let's say that you're using their user ID, which could be based on seniority. If you're using that as your tiebreaker, you might want to add a level to your sorting. So instead of using the A to Z or Z to A icon, you might want to use the custom sort icon to account for any duplicates in your initial sorting criteria. So this gives you a dialog box which allows you to add several layers of sorting. So we're already sorting by quality score, but we want to add a level so that if there are any duplicates here, then we can add another level, in this case, the user ID. And for that, we want smallest to largest because we assume that the most senior employees would have the smaller ID numbers. So right now we have Miguel in the first position and Susan in second, which we expect to remain the same because he's more senior. But what happens here? Well, we have Francis in position 4 and Lawrence in position 5, but Lawrence is more senior. So after adding this level, we expect Lawrence to move up to position 4 and Francis to move down to position 5. So let's see if that's what happens. And it is. So once we have that, then we probably want to see the actual numbers. So we want to include a rank here. And you'll notice that because I'm using an official Excel table, when I added a column, then it expanded the size of the table. So that's pretty cool. And instead of using the rank function here, because I've already completed the process of ranking, I just want the numbers to show up here. I'm going to use the new sequence function to say I want 5 rows, and the other 3 arguments are optional. So it defaults to 1 column, and it defaults to starting at the number 1, and it defaults to stepping each subsequent number by 1. So I don't need to add any of the optional arguments. I just want 5. Now I have a spill error. Why did I get a spill error? That's because Excel's dynamic array functions do not work inside of Excel tables. All right, it's true. So we will need to change this table to a regular range. So I go to table design, convert it to a range, and now let's do that again. I want to delete and run that sequence function one more time. I want the top 5. So here they are. And let's get rid of the others by saying I don't want to see blanks. So this would be the list that I present as my top 5. Of course, we've seen a few disadvantages with using this method. If you're using an Excel table, the dynamic array functions won't work. Another disadvantage is that old school sorting, it's static. So that means once you've sorted, the position numbers will remain the same unless you go in and run that sort again. So let's say you were to update someone's quality score. It won't change the position that they're in unless you also go back and do another sorting. That's the old school way. However, there are new methods of sorting, which include the use of dynamic array sorting functions, which we'll also explore in the solution. Now for this next method, let's look at a way of sorting that is dynamic. Of course, that involves using dynamic array functions. We want to use the sort function, and our array is going to be this table that we created. It's called performance. And the sort index is basically just the column number that we're sorting by. In this case, the third column number. The sort order is going to be descending. We're using the quality score, so the highest score is rank number 1. We need to use -1 to represent descending order. And this is beautiful. Here we have everything sorted in the same way that we would have with using old school sorting. But why this method is better is that it's dynamic. So if someone's score changes, let's say Francis now has a 99%, we see that it's updated in this array. Isn't that cool? What if we wanted to use a better tiebreaker? Maybe we want to use the same seniority. Then we wouldn't use the sort function. Instead, we'd use sort by. We're sorting with the same array. So first, our first level sorting is going to be by quality score. And the sort order is -1. Nothing changes here. But now we're able to add another level, the way we did for the old school sorting method. So we're still sorting the same array. We don't need to declare our array again. So we're now using the user ID, which is this column here. And for user ID, the sort order is going to be ascending. So from smallest to largest value. We close that. And this is exactly what we want. Now we have Lawrence in position 4 because he's senior to Francis. This is also dynamic. So if someone here got 99%, now they belong up here. And that's the advantage of using dynamic array functions. Here's another method that accomplishes the same as the previous one, but this time this one works with Excel tables, and it's also more intuitive because it uses the rank function, which I'm sure that would be the first thing that enters most people's minds when we're talking about ranking. So we would start by creating a column here for rank, and we use the rank function. All right, so there are 3 rank functions. This is the old one. These 2 are the updated rank function. The .avg creates an average whenever there's a duplicate rank. And the .eq creates an equal ranking, a ranking of equal value for each duplicated rank. Let's use this one because it's closest to what the old rank function does. So what number are we ranking? We want to rank this one. And the reference is going to be this entire column. So we can use our table references, the structured references, which is the performance table and the quality score column. The last argument is optional. 0 is descending order and 1 is ascending. If we put nothing, then it'll rank it in descending order, which is what we want. So we can leave that out. And here's what we get. So it does rank them, but what happens? We have Miguel, who is ranked at 1. Let's find the other 100%. That's also ranked at 1. So we're right back where we started. And how can we fix that? Well, here's a little trick that most people use. that we're going to walk through today. Let's count the number of times each rank appears. For that, we want to use an expanding reference as our range. Expanding reference means we start here, and for each subsequent cell, the range keeps expanding until it encompasses the entire column. So we'll start at D2, make that a fixed reference to D2, and the range ends at D2, but this one will be a relative reference. And the criteria will be the value that's here. So we're asking Excel, count the number of times that this value occurs in this range. And it does that for each subsequent cell. So for instance here, it's counting the number of times this value, this rank of 19, occurs between D2 and here. So if this says 2, this means that it's the second time that Excel is seeing this number 19, the first time being right here. All right, and how exactly does that help us? Well, what this means now, we could use the first value as the higher rank in our updated ranking. So let's name this column rank occur. And now our updated rank is going to be a function of these two columns. What we'll do is to start with the default rank and add it to the number of times that this value occurs, and then always subtract 1. So instead of this agent ranking at 19, they're going to be 19 plus 2 minus 1. And for this rep, it's going to be 19 plus 3 minus 1. And so their ranking is updated to 21. Now, the advantage with using this method over using sorting is that it's not static. So remember that with sorting, once we've sorted, unless we do another sorting exercise, the rank would not update. But let's try that here. Let's say this person got 100% instead of 67. Their rank has now changed. They now become number 1 because they're at the top of our list. Now remember that this list is sorted alphabetically. So if your ranking is duplicated in column D, your updated rank is going to be based on where you fall on the list, which just happens to be the letter that your name starts with. I'll give you an example here. So let's just show you the ranks from here. So these are our top 5. We have Francis and Lawrence with the same score of 97. Francis is ranked at 4 and Lawrence at 5 because F comes before L. But really, Lawrence is our more senior employee. So if we wanted to use seniority to break a tie using the rank function, then it's best to sort the list by user ID first. And now we have Lawrence at number 4. Here we go. Lawrence is number 4 and Francis is number 5. Okay, so far so good. But what if you're in a situation where you just want the top 5 scores and maybe you want those people rewarded, regardless of whether there's 10 people that meet that criteria or just 5. You just want the top 5 scores. In this case, that would be these. How do you get Excel to calculate and to extract who those people are? There's a way to do that. And here's my method. First of all, I want to get all the unique scores. I don't want to see the duplications. I want to see this number appearing only once, this one appearing once, and so on, all the way down. And for that, you guessed it, we need the unique function. So here's the array. It's going to be the quality score. And we want unique rows. So let's type false. And we don't want the items that appear only once. We want every distinct item. And again, this is a dynamic array function. So this will not work in our Excel table. We have to change that table to a regular range. So let's convert. Actually, let's just copy this formula. so that when we delete, we can paste it here. All right. And these are the unique values. We can change that to percentage so that we can see that we have 35 people, but we only have 24 different scores. All right. So now we need to identify which one is the fifth largest score. And for that, we use the large function. Here's the array, and we want Excel to find the fifth largest score. That's going to be 95%. So let's call that fifth largest score. Okay, so far so good. And now we can identify and extract the agents who got 95 or higher. We can use the filter function for that. We can use this as our array. And we want to include rows where the quality score is greater than or equal to the value here. Double click to expand. And we need this in the right format. Let's just copy our heading. And we're happy here. These are the agents who got the 5 best quality scores. So today we played around with a couple of these methods of breaking ties and extracting data that meet criteria for the top 5, top 3, or top 10 as the case might be. Do you often come across situations where you need to break a tie in Excel? Until next time, happy Excelling.
So there it is. Did you get the same results? Did you use the same approach? Or did you try something different? We'd like to know. Share your take on the challenge in the comments below or join us for more discussion in our Slack channel. Link in the description. Thanks for participating and make sure to subscribe to this channel to get an alert when the next challenge is released. We'll see you then.